Cheap, cheap, cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap.
This holiday is a terrible idea. Literally a lawsuit waiting to happen. If not, at the very least, a brawl. Oh, what did I get? Spicy floor noodles. Too bad it's not actually supremely hot to deal with the bacteria. Hey, it's just one of those quirks that makes Portia grow on you. It's your new home and you're the new builder of this town. A career with a vast and varied job description. A commonality in farm sims. Make furniture. Build bridges. Mine. Farm, obviously. Fish. Log. Dabble in archaeology. With an arguably imprecise tool for it. Kill multicolored llamas and jolly ladybugs. You know, stuff you do when you try and make a success of your inherited workshop. Becoming a pillar of the community. Also, craft a few pillars. There's no shortage of work to be done and you're always busy. Sure, you could slow things down a bit and let a couple of missions slide, but doing so will mean letting go of an involved part of this gaming experience. That gives it a brisk pace, kind of balancing story progression, upgrading your workshop and what you can craft, as well as building relationships with the townsfolk. But if that frantic build-a-thon doesn't interest you, you can just craft what you want at your own pace, and leisurely build up your workshop, and design your dream estate. You know, if you're a touch more relaxed than I am, and don't want to take a building commission each week, sure, go ahead, let your rivals stay number one. But, as is once again common to the genre, resource collection and building are not the only aspects of this game's gameplay. You also, on occasion, engage in combat. I mean, it's simplistic and perhaps even a bit clunky, but usually you're occupied with other things, and this is fun enough to act as a nice change of pace. The enemy design is kind of remarkable though. The universe Portia's in is a post-apocalyptic world. So most of the things you fight are robots and weird mutants. And while, especially at the start, most of the enemies you fight are quite cute and weird, perhaps even funny, during the mid-game, things take a strange dark turn. Is this a mutated or a robotic scout? In rather stark contrast, the occupants of Portia seem rather workaday. Well, mostly. Resident heptuplets. The Portians do make their town feel alive. They have their own stories, routines, lives they live. They love, they work. They're pretty cute too, if a bit generic in a way. Or perhaps robotic and lifeless is a better term to use. That's maybe a bit harsh, but some of the aspects of this game make it a bit harder to connect with the Portians. It's a bit unrefined. Some lines of dialogue have no voiceover.
Fine.
And some of the voiceovers don't sync with the text.
But I still feel my heart beating really fast.
Heart still beats fast? Did you rest well? Working too hard at the Commerce Guild? Make sure you get enough rest.
And on rare occasions a straight up spelling error may occur. But I feel I must add that I did review this game way back in 2020. The developers have released a bunch of updates since then, and I know from the news feeds that voiceovers are one of the things they tried to deal with. I don't know how successful they were, nor how extensive, but recently I tested it again, and this phenomenon still happened on occasions. During the short time I replayed it. I just chalk it up to ambition. Indie games usually don't have this much voiceover work, and they were fairly successful. Well, some of the voice acting choices were a bit strange. My Albert, a tad creepy, no?
Spring is a wonderful season. Girls all dressed up nice and pretty. Time for romance.
Some of these issues may make it difficult for some of us to really care about the characters. There aren't many character animations, and their faces may seem a bit blank, but their stories do have the capacity to touch you. Their quirks as well. An area where Portia shines, however, is the design of the map and the town itself. Combine that with some decent world building and you actually care about the town. You live in a strange post-apocalyptic world. New governments, new alliances, new countries. An economy deeply connected to relics of the past. Odd festivals. And a schism amongst the townsfolk over whether technology from the old world should be trusted. And at what point are they repeating the mistakes of their ancestors regarding the environment? In a world like Portia, vistas like this just seem to kind of blend in. Even next to the low-tech, quaint style of the town itself. It just sort of looms over the town, and it's remarkable just how little you think about it when you're going about your daily business in town. The story doesn't strain itself, it is functional. The mayor wants to improve the town. You help build the improvements. Problems occur. You help fix the problems. New areas are opened. New resources are available. You move on to bigger improvements and bigger problems. Sprinkle in a couple of intrigues to make the stakes of the story feel a bit more dire and urgent than working 9 to 5. The minigames are fun. The mining is quite impressive. Just carve away all that 3D ore. Feel pride as you start to automate your workshop, and things that were once hard become easy. And lastly, you finding relics of the old world and putting it in the museum is quite fun as well. There are so many things in this game that give you a nice jolt. Getting paid or reaching a new level of friendship with one of the citizens.
Are you sure you want to part with this? Very nice. I hope you get something nice in return.
Very satisfying, if perhaps familiar to this genre. I almost completed the game, but I ran out of steam at around 128 hours played. I am spent. It is cheap on Steam, not that cheap full price as it is 369 Rand, but on sale you can get it for 92 Rand 25. And if you think you're gonna play it as much as I did, or at the very least in that vicinity of time, you can expect real value for money. As for me, it was only 73 cents per hour of gameplay, which is excellent. Please just remember, farming sims tend to be highly variable in terms of length. Size-wise, there's a bit of an issue though. It is a big download as it takes up 9,189 megabytes on the hard drive. Not easy. But once again, if you're gonna play as long as I did, I contend it is worthwhile. It isn't the easiest game to run, and in all honesty, I didn't even try it on the Warhorse. But here are the specs. The game isn't bloody though. There's combat, but it isn't bloody. The only issue here may be that the enemy design does take a dark turn here and there. And whether or not you want to chance this on your kids depends on whether or not you want them to see this thing. But ultimately, I say it is quite kid-friendly. I didn't test much of the marriage elements, but I'm guessing it's very implied. The game has a wonderful and strange world, good world building, and the gameplay is satisfying and rewarding in the way that farming simulators typically are. So if you don't like the genre, you probably should stay away, because through that lens it is quite familiar, and you can choose to play it at a faster pace or a more relaxed pace, depending on your preference. But if you do slow things down, I'm not sure, but I think you may miss out on some rewards and story elements. I'm not sure, I kind of sped through it. To avoid that, it felt like that might be a possibility, at least for a few things. On the maybe side, it does have a very functional story. And the enemy design is kind of all over the place. It kind of runs the gambit of cute, creepy, funny and plain. But it's not bad design though, it's just not cohesive. It's a hodgepodge. On the con side, the combat is quite simplistic and perhaps even clunky. But it happens infrequently enough that it's fun and a nice change of pace. And also, at least as of 2020 when I originally reviewed this, the game has some unrefinement, especially in the voiceover work. But as I said, it may have changed by now. But during a short test I still saw issues. And also some may find the character design of some of the portions a bit too samey. Also they don't have that many animations, and have a tendency to appear a bit lifeless and robotic. But all in all I believe this is a very worthwhile game. It gives you a lot to do, and it's quite ambitious and it succeeds mostly. Come on, play it. Share this town with the world's worst gift givers. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, wait. Another tea table? And why are all the presents on the snow-covered ground? Well, they are laid-back farm folk. Just look at them fish right next to this dangerous wildlife.
Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.